Icon.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. I appreciate everybody being here today. I wanted to start out with just a few housekeeping announcements. Please turn off your phone or silence them if you would, so the candidates are not interrupted when they speak. To keep a neutral and nonpartisan atmosphere, the candidates agreed to our policy that no literature, clothing, or materials associated with a candidate's campaign is permitted in the room. This forum is also being recorded, as you just heard, and is being streamed on Zoom. The league, the sponsor, the candidates have all agreed to run or link to the recording from beginning to end with no editing, in compliance with FCC rules. Unauthorized videos, such as cell phone videos, are not allowed because the FCC requires that a forum recording must be presented in its entirety. All right, we'll get started. My name is Linda Jansen. I'm a member of the League of Women Voters of North and Central San Mateo County. I want to thank, and the League wants to thank, the City of Burlingame for sponsoring this forum. We appreciate their interest and their efforts in presenting events that increase voter knowledge about candidates and issues. The League is a national nonpartisan volunteer organization. We welcome people of all ages. Our education mission is to encourage your active and informed participation in government at every level. The League does not endorse or oppose candidates or political parties. Our interest is in helping voters gain a fair and unbiased information to make an informed decision before they vote. The purpose of a candidate forum is to provide an opportunity for all the candidates to be heard at one time and to be questioned by you, the voters. Bringing the candidates and voters together face-to-face enables voters to better understand their election decisions. And thank you for coming out to learn more about the candidates. It's one aspect of this to keep in mind is this is a forum, it is not a debate. So candidates are asked to answer questions about their positions and their merits as it relates to the office. They're not going to be debating each other's positions as it relates to those issues and those questions. We are leaving that to you, the audience, to assess on your own. All right, tonight we're going to hear from candidates for the Burlingame City Council. Burlingame now has district elections. There's a map of the districts in the back if any of you are interested in where those districts are laid out. This means candidates are elected by district instead of at large. Tonight we have one candidate for District 1. There are 4 candidates for being elected to 1 seat in District 2, and there are 2 candidates for 1 seat in District 4. All the terms of office are for 4 years, with the exception that the candidate for District 1 is running to complete a term to which they were appointed following a council vacancy. Their term would end December 2026. So it's a shorter term than the others. So lastly, as we hear from candidates, hold your applause until the end of the forum when we'll have an opportunity to thank them all. So let me make introductions. If I would, you can raise your hand. They are seated by district and then within district in alphabetical order. So we have Andrea Papajohn representing District 1. We have Nirmala Bandropalli for 2, Haja Khoury, Rachel Nee, Desiree Thayer, and Donna, those are District 2s. And then we have Donna Colson for Tony Paul will be coming, but he let us know he's running a little late. We're going to proceed and we'll pick up with Tony. I don't think we will reintroduce an opening statement, but he can enter the meeting in whatever form, it's in when he gets here. We'll probably take a pause to make sure he gets seated. So the rules for tonight's forums, we're going to start with opening statements from all our candidates, and each candidate has 3 minutes for an opening statement. We have a timekeeper, Afsoon Shardar, who's sitting here. The timekeeper Afsoon is going to hold up warning signs when the candidate has 1 minute and then 30 seconds to the allotted time. At the end of the time, she has a big bright red stop sign and the candidate should stop speaking. You don't have to stop mid-sentence, but please no paragraphs. And I have a gavel. Ushers. We have two ushers in the room tonight. Cynthia Robbins-Roth and Nicole Niederer. They're in the back of the room. They are wearing League of Women Voters badges, so you'll recognize them. When you have questions, you can put them in writing. They have note cards for you. Anytime you think of a question, raise your hand. They will bring them around. And they have pencils as well if you need them. When you are ready to hand in your question, just hand your card up and they'll be picking it up and get it up here. Please write as clear as you can. I'm 70 and my aunt, I can only, and never was a school teacher, so we'll try my best. For those of you viewing on Zoom, you can submit questions to questions@lwvncsmc.org. That the NCSMC is North and Central San Mateo County. So lwvncsmc.org. So all questions come to me. Margaret Lukens, who's seated next to me, is helping to organize questions tonight, both from you and from the online audience. And she will give me those questions. We seldom have time to answer all questions, and I may need to rephrase or combine questions at the last minute. We will make every effort to cover as many topics as we see come in so that you have your sense of the candidate's position as broadly addressed as possible. So in terms of how we organized tonight's opening statements and questioning, all the candidates drew lots and they are speaking in the order they drew in. And then we have a question period. The order of those questions is random unless a candidate is asked a question directly to them. We then give all the other candidates an opportunity to chime in with that question should they want to. And I'll poll them for that, asking each one. Most of our questions are addressed in general to all candidates. They have 1 minute to answer the question. At the end of the question period, we'll have closing statements. The candidates have 2 minutes for the closing statements, and they'll take them in reverse order from the order we had on the opening. And then we will adjourn. So hopefully that all makes sense to you, and we will get started. So opening statements in terms of the order we drew in, we'll open up with Nirmala Bandrapalli. You can begin. Sure. Oh, by the way, all the mics are on all the time. So
check. Hello. Check.
All right. Yes, Nirmala.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. I want to express my gratitude to the League of Women Voters and the City of Burlingame for hosting this important forum. Also, many thanks to members of the public for coming out this evening. My name is Nirmala Bandrapalli, and I'm deeply honored to stand before you to share my vision for our wonderful city. Throughout my journey in the US, Burlingame has become not just a place where I live, but a community that has embraced me as a mother, community volunteer, leader, and entrepreneur. For over 20 years, my husband and I had the privilege of raising our 3 children, all of whom have attended and attending our public schools. Professionally, I have more than 25 years of work experience in technology, business, and finance, working as a program manager at leading companies. Of all the professional roles I hold, I am most proud of being a dedicated public servant. During my time here in Burlingame, I've had the privilege to an honor to serve in various capacities on many boards in the city and county, including as a chairman of the Burlingame Planning Commission. Additionally, I had the honor of being the first woman of color to serve as a president of the Burlingame Lions Club. Today, I continue that work by advising the Leos Club, inspiring the next generation to take on an active role in community service. From supporting local schools and school site council to spearheading initiatives for emergency preparedness, I've dedicated myself to serving the needs of our community, Here are a few examples of my contributions. Collaborated with neighbors and local officials to secure a crossing guard at El Camino Real and Ray Drive, significantly improving safety for students and families. Streamlined IT processes for the Burlingame Community for Education and fundraising for several years. Led Leo Club's members in surveying sidewalks for 2-inch cracks on El Camino Real and reported back to the Public Works to address it, ensuring sidewalk safety for our community. Served as a Girl Scouts leader as well as AYSOT mom. Over the past several months, I've had the opportunity to personally engage with our residents, knocking on over 2,000 doors and listening, and conducted listening sessions to stay connected with the issues that matter most to them because they matter to me too. Maintaining either the charm of the neighborhoods, addressing traffic congestion on California Drive, speeding cars, illegal parking, ignoring one-way street on Paloma and drive through it, and much accessible green spaces for residents and beloved pets. Our community deserves a safe, vibrant, and cohesive environment, and I'm committed to addressing these issues head on. Thank you.
Thank you. Afsoon, could I ask you, when you put just because where you're seated, I can't see the times when you do the time calls. So if I could just ask you to hold them up. Thank you. All right. Yes, ma'am? Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Yeah.
Can the candidates all see her?
100%.
All right. Next, we will hear from Andrea Pajan.
Great. Thank you, League of Women Voters, for hosting this candidate forum. Thank you, Linda, for moderating and for the other volunteers here. My name is Andrea Papajohn, and I'm grateful to talk with you all this evening. So for more than 20 years, I've worked to improve Burlingame. I've been a stakeholder in many different capacities. I volunteered at public schools. I've served on boards of the athletic and nonprofit organizations. I've worked for the city in a sustainability role, and I've served on the Parks and Rec Commission. And now I'm currently a city council member representing District 1. It's been an honor and a joy to serve on the city council. Burlingame is worth fighting for, and I jump in with both feet to support our community. When the school district initiated the Spanish immersion program and asked for parent support, I was on the founding leadership team. When I noticed there was an abundance of soccer gear that was only used for one season, I initiated a recycle soccer gear program for our community. Professionally, over the last 10 years, I've worked in local government. My network runs deep, and I'm grateful for these relationships that allow collaboration on regional issues and to better serve Burlingame. Burlingame is also an extremely well-run city. We have a long-term vision for measured but bold growth, responsible budgets, and discrete sources of revenue. We have benefited from generations of leaders, and I intend to build upon their example. That is what I stand for. I also enjoy walking through the hills frequently, and my family never worries about my safety. Public safety is important to me, and I don't take it for granted. To help keep our community stay active, I've prioritized getting more out of our public spaces. In District 1, this has included improving the Mills Canyon Trail and opening the new Skyline Dog Park. While I may be running in District 1, I firmly believe each of us needs to represent the city as a whole and its priorities, not just the priorities of my neighbors. I look forward to working on making the El Camino Rail project a true success, and I will do whatever it takes to secure funding for the Broadway grade separation. These are big, important projects that will benefit us for the long term. We need to be proactive, reasonable, and financially responsible in our approach to addressing these issues. That is my approach. I look forward to answering your questions on what matters most to you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Our next speaker will be Donna Colson.
Thank you very much. My name is Donna Colson, and I'm a 2-term at-large council member, presently serving as mayor. Before I get started, I just want to say a big thank you to Megan and our city staff, in addition to the League of Women Voters, who put up all these adorable signs all over. Thank you. Eric and I have lived in Burlingame for 27 years, and we've raised our 2 daughters here. We've been involved in public schools, youth sports. We've owned a small business. My professional experience includes 27 years in finance and local philanthropy, plus an additional 9 years on the council. During these 9 years and over my career, I have developed a reputation as someone who can advance complex projects and lead with compassion and care. Some of my current committee assignments include grade separation, El Camino Real renovation, sea level rise, and I am on the Audit and Finance Committee. In addition, I have been appointed by all of the mayors and many of the leaders throughout this county to lead on regional efforts. Those include being elected chair of the Housing and Community Development Committee, chair of Peninsula Clean Energy, chair of the Resource Management and Climate Protection Committee, and serving as a director on the board of One Shoreline. Since being elected to council, I have worked with my colleagues over the last 9 years to deliver a beautiful new net zero energy community center, a critical general plan update that has delivered thousands of transit-oriented housing units, many of which are deed restricted for workforce and seniors, plans to protect our businesses, streets, and residents from flooding, sea level rise, and other climate impacts. We have developed 2 new parks and a downtown parking garage with over 350 stalls and EV charging, and a new town square opening next year. We've tackled rising pensions, created reserves to smooth future increases, planned for infrastructure, and invested in our excellent staff. During the pandemic, we worked to diversify revenue streams and upheld our high-quality services, and we have focused on safety by adding an additional police officer and recently secured funding to open our Rollins Road Fire Station. But there is more to be done, and that is why I'm running for another term as the District 4 representative. My goals for the next 4 years include completing the El Camino Real renovation, developing a financially feasible solution to our dangerous Broadway intersection, and working on a new city hall. I am the person who has the experience, the relationships, and the know-how to get these and other complex problems solved.
Thank you, Donna. I think people will see that we've been joined by Tony Paul.
Yes.
Nice to have you, Tony.
Nice.
The candidates are making their opening statements. I'll put you at the end of the last one.
Sure.
All right.
Thank you.
Rachel Nee will be our next speaker.
All right. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. I just want to tell you a little story about me. My history starting with Burlingame began in 2002 when I moved to the Bay Area. 2002, I met a friend. She lived in San Francisco and I was living in Mountain View. And we met at somewhere in the middle, and that's Burlingame. We met at the Copenhagen, and that time I was looking around with my coffee and my actually latte and the croissant. I look around and I told her, oh my gosh, Cher, this is an amazing city. I want to live here one day. In 2004, I got a job at the Hyatt Regency San Francisco Airport. 2009, 2011, I welcomed my children, Augustine and Victoria. They were born at Mills Peninsula Hospital. But raising kids, as many of you know, is so expensive. And that's the time I realized I need a second job. And that's how I find my way into real estate. In 2013, I purchased my first home in South San Francisco for $500,000. I was fortunate enough to have my parents to lend me $80,000 to make it happen. To keep my kids close to work, and they attended St. Catherine's of Siena. And every day I drive by Burlingame, I said to myself, I want to live here one day. 2022, fast forward to today, I got to move to Burlingame. So my love for Burlingame starting at 2002, and it has been a long journey. And I have the privilege of working in this community for over 2 decades. As now I finally call Burlingame home. I'm involved in so much of what make Burlingame special. Aside from my work, I serve on the board of Burlingame Rotary, Downtown Burlingame Business Improvement District, and Broadway Specific Planning Committee. My campaign is built around the ensuring safety in improving infrastructure, funding pathway to home ownership for renters, and protecting property rights. Supporting our local business, I'm also pledged to expand programs that ensure support youth and seniors. I'm excited to work together and make Burlingame a strong, more vibrant, and welcoming for everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker, Desiree Thayer.
Thank you to the League for organizing this forum, and thank you all for coming. I'm Desiree Thayer. I grew up in Michigan in a working family. My mother was a nurse, and my father worked in a General Motors factory. I came to California after graduating from the University of Michigan for graduate school. I earned a PhD in biochemistry and then moved to the Bay Area 18 years ago. 9 years ago, I made Burlingame my home. In my day job, I manage partnerships across the globe between academia, biotech, biopharma, and tech companies, bringing new innovation to the discovery of new medicines. I am accountable for the execution of the scientific work, the legal contract, and program finances and resourcing. This mix of scientific, technical, legal, and business experience would serve me well on the City Council. Outside of work, I spend my free time in our community. 7 years ago, I started a high school intern program with the Citizens Environmental Council of Burlingame and Burlingame's Sustainability Manager. The program was expanded countywide as the Youth Climate Ambassadors Leadership Program. Working alongside staff at the County Office of Education and the county's Sustainability Department, I've taught and mentored high school students over the past 5 years, and we now have over 250 graduates. Next week, we start year 6 with 56 new students from across the county. At the county level, I am serving a 3rd term as a board-appointed member of Peninsula Clean Energy's Community Advisory Committee. I served as chair from 2019 to 2021, when the committee initiated a diversity, equity, accessibility, and inclusion statement that led to a DEAI policy and action plan. I've also served on subcommittees for building electrification, strategic planning, and renewable energy resources for disadvantaged communities. For the past 2 years, I've regularly attended City Council meetings. I've seen how impactful local government is in our daily lives. I am aware of what the council is working on and what changes are coming to Burlingame. I want to use this knowledge I've gained to be a public servant for all in Burlingame. Our community deserves a city council that reflects the diversity of Burlingame. Over half of Burlingame is renters and 27% are Asian American. As a renter and Filipino American, I will bring a fresh perspective that has been missing from our local leadership. I will lead by seeking community input, listening to all voices, and finding data-informed solutions. I am the only candidate in the District 2 race who has endorsements from current and former Burlingame City Council members and school district trustees, as well as Congressman Kevin Mullen and former State Senator Jerry Hill. These endorsements are a testament to my abilities to work hard, dig in deep on complex issues, collaborate with staff and colleagues, and get things done. I will work tirelessly. Oh, I'll stop there.
Thank you. All right, our next speaker, Haja Khoury.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Hadia Khoury. I want to thank the League of Women Voters tonight for sponsoring the forum. I also want to thank all the attendees who took time to come here this evening to watch our debate, and both here and online. I am honored to stand before you as a candidate of District 2 City Council, as a long-term resident of this wonderful community. I have witnessed firsthand the incredible spirit of our neighborhoods and the potential we have to make Burlingame an even better place for everyone. My story, like many of yours, is one of perseverance and the pursuit of the American dream. At 16, I came to United States vacation, but because of the war in Lebanon, I couldn't return. Even though I was without my family, I was determined to build a better life for myself. I've always been passionate about finding beauty in everyone and everything around me, which led me to open a skincare clinic here in the downtown Burlingame. I've been running my business successfully for over 25 years. The people of Burlingame showed me so much love and support over the years that when I found myself becoming a single mother, I chose Burlingame to be my home for my two daughters. Today, I'm very proud to say that not only my daughters attended BIS and Burlingame High School, but both my daughters chose Burlingame to start their businesses. For the past 10 years, I frequently walked to my work. I was during those walks looking and appreciating the beauty and charm of our town, but still I felt that something was missing, which led me to start my landscaping design business. And since then, I volunteered planting flowers all over Primrose Avenue and most of downtown. In 2022, the City Council of Burlingame and our lovely mayor elected me as a beautification commissioner for our city. One of my accomplishments, in addition to the lights on our downtown trees on Burlingame Avenue, which was done with a very limited budget, it has helped attract lots of visitors and people and business, for lots of business and many visitors. My experiences have shaped my deep appreciation for the opportunities this country and our city provide. They also instilled in me a strong work ethics, resilience, and a commitment to giving back to the community that embraced me. As a business owner for a quarter century, I've witnessed our city's growth and challenges firsthand. I understand the delicate balance between progress and preserving the charm and character that makes Burlingame special. My vision for Burlingame.
Thank you. Sorry, thank you. All right, Tony, if you could make your opening statement.
Yes, my name is Tony Paul. Sorry for coming late. I was working and coming from Caltrans to help, a lot of lane closure issues that we had before coming in to the rainy season and all that, urgent and emergent closure. So I started with Caltrans in 1998 as a civil engineer. And so all the cones that you see at night is blame it on me. But just to improve the highway system and everything, I'm thanking for the League of Women Voters for giving us this opportunity. And this has been always enabled me to go further in my career. To tell you the story of mine, I was, of course, I was an immigrant, and my mom encouraged me to become an engineer. And to be honest, I was bad in math, believe it or not, and as a young kid. But then my mom brought tutor at home and teacher actually at home, and changed that issue with my weakness. And I know this can be very relatable to many people. And I'm a senior engineer now with Caltrans, and I want to transcend my knowledge to the city of Burlingame because I love Burlingame. So through my work with Caltrans, I've been helping many agencies too. San Mateo, San Jose. I went from every location in the Bay Area, including Vallejo. And at that time, I served as a temporary assignment with the CHP, looking for a fugitive and sharing the responsibility or the liability with Caltrans, with the CHP. So that was really good experience with that. So I'm here to get Burlingame to another level. My expertise with local agency, with Caltrans, with public is tremendous. I want to bring that experience here and encourage and go to mass transit with if we're going to have the mandate of zero fatality 2050, we need to do more light rail, more transit to get that goal of 2050 zero fatality. So I'm here because of my experience. I know I can do a great job for City of Burlingame, and this is just from my heart to do the good job for Burlingame. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you. All right, we'll move to the question period. We'll try to alternate a bit between the room and what's online. Our first question is about schools. Families love Burlingame because we value our schools. How can the city council support education and schools even though it is not directly responsible for them? Going first on this question, Haja Khoury. I'm sorry? They have 1 minute to answer the question. So do you want me to repeat the question?
Please do.
I'll just get direct to the question. How can the city council support education and schools even though it is not directly responsible for them?
I think city council can do a lot for our schools. I think collaborating together and common use of our fields, for example. We already take care of the school's fields. Our city Park and Rec takes care of it. We have a beautiful community center as well that we connect with the school for tutoring, for training, for anybody that needs any help after school. There's so much we could do with our Burlingame schools. Also, we can encourage businesses in Burlingame to do fundraisers, like donate 10%, like host a fundraiser, family night. There are many ideas, creative ideas that I have that I could bring to the school board.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Desiree Thayer.
So I think the city's doing a great job working with the school district. I'm aware that there's a 2x2 committee where 2 of the city council members and 2 of the school district trustees regularly meet with each other to coordinate efforts. As you can imagine, with new housing coming into the city, it's important to keep track with each other on, is there more need for more classrooms or for more teachers? How are the numbers looking there? And also, the city does work through the Parks and Rec to provide after-school programs at the school sites, as well as shared field use. I think in addition, I think basically that they should continue working together and really letting each other know about coordinated efforts of changes that are coming to the city.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll hear from Rachel Nee.
Yes, both of my kids, one is at BIS, the other one's at BHS. I think working with the school board, and we can participating some fundraisings, advocating for at the county and state level to try to get some more funds, and promoting after-school programs at the rec center.
Thank you. Next, Donna Colson.
Thank you very much. Yes, I am actually the liaison with the schools, and it's been my great pleasure. One thing you could do is something I've done, which is I am now a substitute teacher for the Burlingame Public School District. It's been my honor and a pleasure. We have a shortage. The reason we have a shortage is we don't have enough affordable housing here. So helping build affordable housing and housing that teachers can live in would be great. I have a daughter who's a teacher. I know exactly what happens. That's in addition to all the other things we've talked about, investing in the sports fields, BHS, we've invested in the pool renovation, we've partnered on things like United Against Hate, which has been really critical to expand out to the schools to fight anti-Semitism and anti-Asian hate. We've run their after-school enrichments program, and you can tutor in the library. There are a lot of amazing things you can do to partner with the schools. I've also run, the other thing you can do is support GG. Vote yes on GG.
Thank you. Next, we will hear from Andrea Pop.
Great, thank you. So yeah, my colleagues or my fellow candidates have had some great ideas, so I will probably repeat a couple. But I think, first of all, some people don't realize that the schools are separate from the city in their funding. And so we don't have any jurisdiction over the schools. It's so important, though, for us to be partners, since so many of so many of us have kids and have volunteered in the schools. Obviously, we want to support them It helps our whole city. One of the important things the city, though, has done is designated housing to hopefully keep our workforce and make it more affordable for teachers. We definitely want to be able to provide housing that they can afford. Next, I think that it's also important to provide open spaces for young adults to be able to spend time, relax, recreate, and for good mental health. Thank you very much.
Next, we'll hear from Nirmala Bondrapalli.
You know, all my three kids went to Burlingame local schools. I understand that the city city and schools are not really connected. But I think the city can prioritize the infrastructure and, because we need to make the streets safe. A lot of the kids are biking. So we need to ensure, and that's where the city can help. And of course, I do support Vote on GG. And there are a lot of, actually, I really appreciate the city that they partner with the Park and Recs partner with the school district and provide all these enrichment programs that really helps students. And the students and the city council also encouraged more donations to the youth scholarship fund. And I think, and also implement more education and enrichment element that is in the general plan, which, aims to enhance students' life. And I think our council is already doing a great job. And I think I would love to see continued partnership with the school district.
Thank you. And now, Tony.
Yes, I have dealt with school a lot with the transportation by having, we're working with the county of Fresno and making safe suggested route to school. However, regarding how can we improve, I think we have to have a participative feedback approach from the parents and what's their needs, and that way we can meet halfway. And then like my other candidate said also that fundraising, that's another issue but unless we know their concerns and we know some of it where the salary is not there, for the teachers, we can advocate on that. But again, like what Donna Carlson said, Gigi, I'm supporting that, yes, on that. So all these things, it needs collaboration. The more we can get with them, what is their intention to do, so we can reach their goal too. And we can be all agreeing on what's needed for them, for the student, for the infrastructure of school.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to our second question. Thank you so much for those thoughtful answers. This question moves us to the topic of housing. If elected, what would you do to support and protect the more than 50% of your constituents who rent rather than own their homes? We will open with Nirma Bondrapalli.
Sure. Our state mandates that our housing element has, enough housing, like 3,500 in the housing element. And that's what the city council did an amazing job with that. And we already have over 2,000 housing units either approved or in the process of approval. And I think I will definitely ensure that policies set forth in the city housing element are effectively executed to promote the production of more affordable units. That includes meeting our regional housing needs allocation targets and actively pursuing funding and partnership for affordable housing projects. Encourage mixed-use developments. I would promote mixed-use developments that combine residential and commercial places, particularly near transit hub. This approach not only increases housing supply, but also enhances accessibility to jobs and services. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Rachel Nee.
Yes, housing. So I believe we need more of what I call it smart housing. So what we can do is there are affordable housing being built, 2,400 units. What we really need is also the changing the policy or zoning, make it easier for such as condo conversions. But most importantly, before we talk about housing, we need to work on infrastructure. Building so many properties without improving our infrastructure, that's the bigger issue we are looking at.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Donna Colson.
Thank you very much. The city of Burlingame has had inclusive housing, and we have collected commercial linkage fees for a while. We have 15 million. We're using that as, we're exploring using that to preserve existing, already affordable units. I think that's one of the most important things we can do. I would also suggest that we look at, the state has rent control, but interestingly, rent control does not apply to affordable housing deed restricted units in the state of California. And I was shocked about that. How can that be? AMIs, area median incomes are going up rapidly, and many of those affordable units are increasing in rent faster than people can keep up. So if we could extend it to that, it would be something I would look at. I think it would be very important. Helping with Samaritan House, that's another good thing we can do, which helps keep people in their houses. All of these things are keeping people in their houses, not letting them become unhoused. We know that's the number one thing we can do.
Thank you. Next, let's hear from Andrea Papajohn.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I think we want to keep a very diverse array of housing for our renters. There's a lot of great housing and older stock on El Camino and in our downtown area. And perhaps we could use some of the money from our Hope Fund to encourage and incentivize upgrades to support that existing housing. For example, there could be seismic retrofits, to help maybe make some slight improvements on those homes, but also keep them below market rate. So those could be some options for renters.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Tony Paul.
Yes, I'm struggle with it. I'm a renter here in Burlingame, and I'm okay with it. But the thing is, I'm, struck this word affordable. We have not classified what affordable is, and there's a restriction attached to it. So I'm not happy with what we have now. Affordable, what is affordable? I would say between 50,000 to $1 million. Let's have houses between 50,000 cost to $1 million. Then we can talk. We're in business that way. But if we just say affordable and then restriction, then we're not meeting the goal. We're not making the turn. I'd like to make the turn. I'd like to say San Bernardino, if anybody heard about it, they have houses that range from 50,000 to $1 million. Then everybody can have their own fair share. Thank you.
Thank you. Hadia Corey?
Affordable housing, I think it should work around the budget of our teachers, first responders, nurses, firemen. We want them to not just work here, we want them to live here so they can experience also how it is when they're not working and enjoy what we enjoy. I'm a renter myself, and I know the struggles of renting in the Burlingame, in this area. We do have the 132 units of affordable housing, and still they cannot afford to pay that kind of rent with their income. I encourage mixed use housing where we have businesses and homes. So this way we also can have revenue for the city, not just housing, and base the housing affordability around the income of our working force.
Thank you. All right, and lastly, this right there.
So one of the best ways to protect our workers is to continue to build more housing. We need to address the housing shortage that we have. We have a housing crisis throughout the Bay Area. Another thing is we need to work with the regional group HEART and with building more affordable housing in the area. And also the governor just last Thursday signed the Home Key Plus initiative. So this is more money that will be brought in to help with affordable housing construction. We also need to protect our naturally affordable housing stock. So these are the older units on El Camino and close to Broadway where I live. And we could use some of those commercial linkage fees that the city has collected to help those mom and pop landlords, perhaps help with seismic upgrades or with quality of life upgrades for the residents.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to a question about development. What is your stand on the development on the Bay Shore, and what type of development would you like to see? And we'll open with Rachel Neat.
Okay, as I'm from Taiwan, there's an area we call Xinyi area, Xinyi district. What they did is over 30 years of the development. They have it's planned. So what they do is they build a bunch of commercial building first, and they brought business in, and then they built buildings around the residential and malls and schools. So everything is planned based on Shinjuku in Japan. So I am a strong believer of planned development and mixed use. And so you don't have to drive, or you can walk to places.
Thank you. The next person to answer this question, Haja Khoury.
I am a big fan of our Bayfront. I believe it's such a great economic development for us, and it could bring so much money to the city. And I could see investing in this and working with developers on the Bayfront is a huge thing, because we are in the heart of in the best location in the Bay Area. We are on the water. We have a treasure. We're right by the airport. My vision is seeing people landing at San Francisco Airport and coming to our hotels, which bring us the most tax. Hotel and car sales bring the most tax in the city. Building the Bayfront is huge, and it could be very simple, even in the areas that are that don't need to have more than just lighting. It's dark at night. You go at night there. People go to San Francisco to be by the water. We're right there by the water. It's close to Broadway. This will lift Broadway. It will lift the city. Having restaurants on the water, having water activities, nightlife. I think it's.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Desiree Thayer.
So I think the city has done a good job actually in what they have set out for the bar. We have Top Golf coming, which will bring something new to the city. We also have new office and biospace buildings that have been approved that will be coming up soon. And also we're supporting our hotels, which, as you've heard, brings in a lot of tax to the area. But I do think we need to build in a smart transit oriented and transit responsible way. So I'm really glad that with like the Oculus campus that came out on the Bayfront and the bioscience and office buildings that are coming, that the city has really pushed those developers to include transit demand plans in order to, deal with the traffic that could come with the workers working out there on the Bayfront.
Thank you. We'll hear from Tony Paul next.
Yes, I'm pro the development of the Bay Shore. I'll say also, like what I will approve what the council said about the mass transit again on that one, because the new vision is to build vertical rather than horizontal. That way we can consume on the space and reserve on the space rather than go horizontal, and then it's not going to benefit after all for the development. And having everything like what Rachel said, it's within distance. She's right on target on that. So the support and of that, I'm in it, but it has to be more declared and more engineering way of having vertical development rather than horizontal. And then mass transit and park and ride. Also, once you get a mass transit, but without a park and ride, then it's not effective. Thank you.
Thank you. Nirmala Bandrapalli.
There is so much construction already approved on Bayside. There's 1 million square footage. And I love to see the construction, but I also believe in sustainability. I also believe in preservation of character. While allowing for growth, we need to emphasize preserving Burlingame character. I also believe in transit-oriented development. We need to ensure if we could build transit-oriented development to that area and have open space and connectivity, walking paths. That is the best place for all. During pandemic, so many people have adopted dogs. We need a dog park desperately, and that is the right place for a dog park. Thank you.
All right. Donna Colson, please.
Thank you. This is one of the most transformative areas of Burlingame. 40% of our budget is tied to hotel transit occupancy, and it is all at risk because of sea level rise. One Shoreline, where I'm on the board of directors, has worked with the city of Burlingame to create the most innovative in the nation zoning ordinance that now incorporates sea level rise, changes and adaptation strategies that are paid for by the developer during the time they're doing the project. Resiliency is also built in around transit. We're going to be having new parks. We're going to be creating the Bay Trail. And all of that will be financed and funded with the value creation from the upzoning that we did and the new overlays that are resilient to 100 years of the FEMA standard. We've been going out and talking all over the Bay Area and the nation about this leading work that we've been doing in Burlingame, and I'm very proud of it.
Thank you. Andrea Papajohn.
Thank you. Yes, I do support commercial development on the Bayfront, but I think it must be measured. And I also think when we work with developers, we can partner with them and ask for additional amenities. For example, one of the developers, a large developers, include a huge plaza and open space in their development. And I think that will add a lot of benefits to our community and the Bayfront. I also think that the developers can help improve our Bay Trail so that we can enjoy the recreation on the Bayfront as well. And finally, I really will echo what Donna Colson said. We must really first make sure our shoreline is resilient to sea level rise and climate change. And I'm grateful for the city for the zoning that they have adopted. I think that was such a smart move, and I fully support that. So we need to make sure that our shoreline is resilient so that all our developments are secured. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all. We'll move to our next question, and the topic is traffic. And we've had a number of questions come in. Some of them, it won't surprise you, are quite specific to streets and neighborhoods, and some are more generalized. I'm going to read a few of them, and I would ask that you sort of relate your answer to the general question of traffic and to the extent that there are specific items in your district to address that as well as best you're able. So bear with me as I get through some of these questions. With the recent events of accidents on the San Mateo-Burlingame border, will Burlingame work with San Mateo to update safety measures on Peninsula Avenue? Traffic in Burlingame Terrace neighborhood has really increased since California Drive was redone. More cars are cutting through the neighborhoods. Would you work to restore two-lane traffic in both directions on California between Broadway and Oak Grove and remove the unnecessary parking lane and median? And lastly, I have general traffic concerns in my neighborhood and in the city in general. Interestingly, all these deal with traffic safety as against too many cars. Well, I wouldn't say that exactly, but let's just get started with that. Our first responder will be Donna Colson.
Thank you. The city has just implemented a Vision Zero plan, which is a goal to get the number of accidents and fatalities down to zero in the next few years. And I'm looking forward to working on that. Anytime you densify a city and you grow it and you add new people on, we will have more traffic. So the critical thing here is going to be to get our grade separation and our El Camino Real renovation done, and then continue to work in our individual neighborhoods to listen to the residents, find out what they want, and go ahead and implement those traffic, pedestrian, and bike safety measures. I know it's not popular. Some parts of town do not want to include new bike measures and pedestrian safety measures, but as we densify, we are going to need to balance out the need for cars and parking with the need for having more safety for people walking to downtown, biking to downtown, and taking their families out on the Bayfront.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Andrea Papajohn.
Yes, I agree. The city is now working on a Vision Zero plan, and I am very happy to be working on that committee, which is just starting. We received a grant, and so it's wonderful that we get funding for things like this to reduce fatalities on roads. That's, I think, the main thing is safety. I know the city is also doing a shuttle study. I think we could increase, our shuttles And I look forward to seeing the study when it comes for potential ideas on how to implement those. And then I always encourage alternate transportation. I mean, I know we're putting in bike paths, we have a master bike and ped plan. And so the more we can encourage alternate transportation, I think the more we can get some cars off the road. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll hear from Tony Paul.
Yes, this is my cup of tea. And this is what I always shoot for, to zero fatality. And it's a state mandate also to have zero fatality by 2050. So, and the city is going with that too, which is, I'm very happy with that. And the thing is, we need to have complete street, what Donna indicated, the bikes and everything. That is also asked from the state to have the bicycle, the walking, the shuttle, the buses. So I'm for that, but we need to do also analysis study. Everything we need to do, improve or modify, it's backed up with a study. Guys, there's nothing just to say, oh, let's do this, let's do. It's all backed with a study, and I'm here to do those studies too and improve the safety. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, let's hear from Desiree Thayer.
So like many of the others, I'm very glad that Burlingame has put in a Vision Zero plan. And I also agree that the Broadway grade separation, as well as the renewal project on El Camino Real, are critical for this. The other part that's critical for the Broadway grade separation is really bringing back the Caltrain weekday service, which would alleviate a lot of the traffic as well and allow more commuters to take mass transit to get to work. Along with that is the shuttle service. I know that the city council has 2 members who are looking at what shuttles could be brought back into the community. I personally miss that the shuttle no longer runs between Broadway and here. And I think also out to the hotels, it was a way for visitors to be able to get to Burlingame, downtown Burlingame, as well as to Broadway. Regarding the question that was about California, the traffic on California Avenue, I think we really should do a traffic study there to see what is the actual impact, because I am glad that it's slowed the traffic there to make it safer.
Thank you. Let's hear from Hadia Court.
I'm a big supporter of Vision Zero. I think it's wonderful that we have the statistics to see and understand to make a wise decision on what could be done. A study on California Drive is definitely needed. There's been a lot of complaint from residents about the congestion. I think we need to find a happy medium after all the investment that has been done. This is not going to go away. We want to add something to it that could make everyone happy, listen to our residents, see how we can make the bicyclists happy and the people driving. Grade separation is going to relieve a lot of congestion for us when it's done, because it would be much easier to not have to stop for the train, and of course safer. El Camino, also another project that will help. My suggestion is for El Camino, of course, after a study, is instead of every street making a left turn, would be great, maybe every 5-6 streets to make on a traffic light, make a left turn.
Thank you. And last, Nirmala Bandar-Pali, please.
As I said earlier, I done, knocked on 2,000 doors. Everybody, we are District 2 sandwiched between California Drive and El Camino Real. All the neighborhoods, people are speeding at 40 miles per hour because California Drive has traffic congestion. We need to fix. This is people day-to-day life. It is impacted for all the reasons. People are scared to let their kids bike on the streets. This is very important, and I'm going to address this as a priority. And I believe we need to take a multi-pronged approach. Do a safety study, and road. We need to improve the infrastructure. We need to improve our public transportation, enhance public transport options. California Drive, we have the increased frequency of bus services. That is very important. And I think I appreciate the bike lanes now northbound, but on southbound, we need to revert back so that people who are working are not stuck on California Drive, spending 30 minutes just driving to BHS. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, before I begin the next question, if we were to finish on time, we would have time for one more question and our closing statements. With the permission of the candidates and the audience, I might suggest we have 2 more questions. So we cover all our,
Yes.
is that okay with you guys? Are you guys up to staying about 15 minutes later? Pardon? Miss-
Yeah, she's missing.
Oops,
Oh, yeah.
my bad.
Rachel, you got to raise your hand, girlfriend.
I'll make it
Oh,
quick.
Sorry, Rachel. We'll do that for sure. And then we'll do 2 questions. And then we'll go to closing. All right?
Good.
My apologies.
It's okay. I'll make it quick. So I live on Chula Vista, so I'm literally 1 block away from California Drive. I feel the pain. I take my kids to school, BHS and BIS. It takes me 45 minutes drive my kids to school. My son's lazy, so sorry, honey. And then 45 minutes for me to go back to downtown Burlingame. So I believe we need to improve the infrastructure and have a better public transit for maybe the high school kids and for people who need to take the public transit in this case. So city officials, they are making the best decision for most of the people. And I think they're working the best way they can. And I believe the bike thing is also the state mandate. So that's another issue. We need to shift the responsibility back to the city to make the best decision we can for our own city.
Thank you very much, and I apologize for the oversight. All right, our next question is a climate question. Are you happy with the Burlingame Climate Action Plan? And what might Burlingame learn from other cities? And we'll open with Andrea Papajohn.
Great, thank you. So I am happy with the Burlingame Climate Action Plan. It has 20 measures. I think it covers a range of addressing climate change, climate mitigation. It does have a focus on 2 main things. One, electrification. So electrifying our buildings to make them carbon free. And then secondly, very big focus on transportation, adding EV chargers and getting people out of cars, reducing VMT, vehicle miles traveled. So I think we can always learn from other cities. I think there's always room for improvement. And I know that the city and staff collaborate with other cities on climate action. There is a group called RICAPS, Regionally Integrated Climate Action Planning. They meet regularly, and I know that our staff meets with them and brings in new ideas. So, and also we look at regional issues and movements.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. Let's hear from Tony Paul, please.
Yes. Yeah, climate action is serious issues that we face in also California. So what I would think when we think about the material that we're using in buildings, also on highways, there's new materials that less carbon emission in the air, such as rammed earth and hempcrete instead of concrete and steel and pavement, asphalt pavement. So these are the material that we can use to reduce the climate. And I'm for climate action of Burlingame, the city, but there's more to be done and more study to be researched on it to make sure that we are on target and the mitigation and response that we can work on, and the new project that's going to be always inconclusive with that idea of how to combat the sea level. Thank you.
Thank you. Nirmala Bondrapalli.
I would say Burlingame is the actually leader in climate action plan. Our city prepared the first cap in 2009 to address the greenhouse emissions and implemented multiple programs to significantly reduce the GHG emissions in 2020. Our city even achieved the goal of reducing the GHG emissions to 15% below the city's 2005 baseline. By 2030 goal to reduce annual GHG emissions by 40% from 1990 levels. So actually, I'm very proud of city efforts in the climate action plan. They're doing amazing work with housing impact fees, commercial linkage fees, village at Burlingame. There's so many options are provided for citizens.
Thank you. Rachel Nee, please.
Yes, climate change is real. I believe we need to work on climate change plan gradually. We need to work on improving our infrastructure first. I am a pro climate change plan, but I was trying to electrify my house. PG&E took 7 months to change my electricity from 100 amp to 200 amp. So I think the PG&E need to work on their plan to make that change first, then they can gradually allow the citizens, residents to change it gradually and as needed.
Donna Colson, please.
Great. And Rachel, good news for you. I just met with the CEO of PG&E, Patty Popey. I have her phone number right here in my thing. And I'm going to make sure that PG&E gets stuff done on time in this city from now on. They drive me nuts on that stuff. But we do have a really good working relationship with our government relations liaison, and he is helping. Climate action plan, yes, it's good. We work through Peninsula Clean Energy to share what's going on in other cities, and we share and collaborate on two important things. One is transit, buildings, and moving to electrification. But I think things like incentives are going to work the best to get us into the energy transition. Little things like helping set up EV chargers, our new net zero energy community center, which is a great example for people to come and look. And small things like starting on recycled water. All of those things are going to work together to help us meet our climate goals into the next 10 years.
Thank you. Let's see, I don't want to miss anybody. So Desiree Thayer, please.
So I think the city's climate action plan is really comprehensive and is written very smartly. So the biggest sources of carbon in the United States are energy, transportation, and waste. And we're very lucky in San Mateo County that we've almost zeroed out the energy portion because we get our electricity now from Peninsula Clean Energy, and all the electricity that comes into the homes and businesses in the county are now 100% greenhouse gas free. On the second portion of transportation, the city's working hard to get EV chargers and encourage people to go into electric vehicles, as well as to use alternative modes of transportation, whether that's public transportation or biking or walking or rolling. And the one part I think we could do a little bit better job is actually on the waste portion. So there is a mandate from the state that we should all be composting now. There's a lot of methane gas that actually comes from putting food waste and other things in the garbage instead of into the compost. But there are places in Burlingame where they still don't have compost, and we should reinforce that rule.
Thank you. And last, Hadia Khoury, please.
Climate action plan actually covers electrification, transit, transportation, reducing our carbon footprint to protect our beautiful nature and all the surroundings that we have. I think our city is doing a great job on this. I mean, we have EV chargers in most of our city. They're installing new ones actually behind Walgreens parking lot. We just got about 17 of them, I think, approved. And we're always on top of what we could do to make better environment in Burlingame and stay on top of it.
Thank you. All right, this will be our last question. What do you say to voters who are concerned with multiple units transforming Burlingame charm, increasing problems such as crime, traffic, and declining school quality? All right, we'll open with Desiree Thayer.
So I think I would say to those people that, unfortunately, change is inevitable, and we do need more housing in our community and throughout the Bay Area, but we can do it in a smart way, right? We can make sure that the infrastructure is there. We can make sure that it's policed well so that it's safe. We can address traffic by making sure that it's transient oriented transit-oriented. And that's actually what the city has done. So when the city redid the general plan, they put in mixed-use buildings and allowed infill along El Camino Real, setting up the new North Rollins Road with the mixed-use housing. That's transit-oriented. It's right close to BART and Caltrain. And so I think what we need to embrace is doing smart development in a way that minimizes effects on our single-family homes and keeps the character of those neighborhoods, but is also welcoming to new residents and alleviates the housing crisis in the region.
Thank you. Nirmala Polly, please.
We need affordable housing for sure, but I would love to see them at the, near the BART station on Rawlings Road, northern Burlingame side, because I don't want to see a Redwood City type of housing in Burlingame. We moved here because we love the small town atmosphere. We love the Burlingame character, and we want to preserve it. So I would absolutely recommend for more housing, but it is transit-oriented development, whether near Caltrain Station or near, Rollins Road or Bayfront. I would love to continue our, the small town character.
Thank you very much. Andrea Papajohn.
Yes, I would say that our city's done a great job being very strategic about where we are building, and that we've had very, smart and focused development and tried to preserve our single-family neighborhoods and create a new neighborhood on the North Rollins Road next to transportation. The Bay Area is growing, and I think the city got ahead on that by looking at a long-term vision to try to accommodate people at different incomes, but also being very smart and thoughtful about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Hajar Kouri, please.
I totally believe it's a great idea to keep the charm for Burlingame, the beautiful charm of our downtown, our city. And our city has already did zoning in North Rollins Road for all the new housing that is coming. And I think this is great because it's near transportation, as was mentioned. And this will create less congestion for our downtown, and also not allowing these tall buildings in the downtown, which will be, we don't want it to be like a big city. We want to keep it with the charm of the city that we have.
Thank you. Rachel Nee, please.
Yes. Building more housing is a state mandate. We need, again, I believe we need to shift the responsibility from the state back to the city. We need to work on our infrastructure. We need to work on transportation. Don't you think all those 2,400 units being built, there are some kids want to go to school. There's people want to drive around, and we just really need to work on those before we continue the building.
Tony Paul, please.
Yes, I would say mass transit again and redundancy of mass transit, where we have multiple mode of transportation that are all geared toward clean energy. That also will reduce the noise of having vehicles going, even on a rubberized asphalt, where the rubber is a damper to the sound of the vehicle to the public. So again, redundancy of mass transit, and also having vertical infrastructure that can have mixed, affordable residence for all, and ensuring the equity. That is also state mandate for us to ensure equitable housing for all, and keeping all the complete street intact within that inclusive goal. Thank you.
Thank you. And Donna Colson.
Thank you very much. Our city worked for 5 years on an updated general plan called Envision Burlingame. We had hundreds of stakeholder meetings with residents, businesses, schools, and that study came out with a roadmap for us to meet our state mandate. We are mandated by the state to build almost 3,800 units of housing. So that has to come. We have to figure out how to do it. And this plan does it in a thoughtful way with transit-oriented development. As far as declining schools, I will say, school enrollment is declining throughout the state. It is not in Burlingame. Burlingame has stable and if not anything increasing, much due to the fact that we are bringing in new people to this community. And that is helping us to continue to have the best schools in the state. Finally, charm is not a physical thing, it's the people. And it's the people who work in your libraries, in your doctor's offices, and your cities.
Thank you. All right, thank you, candidates, very much. Those were thoughtful responses to some tough questions. We're going to move to closing statements, and as I mentioned at the beginning, we'll move in reverse order. So we will, Tony, you will start off. You have 2 minutes, and soon we'll give you some timekeeping clues.
So again, my name is Tony Paul. I have been working all my life to improve the community, improve residents, and try always onto research to be able to do utmost. I never pat my back on a job that I've done, but I always look for how to improve, how to get in a better place for Burlingame too. So being a senior engineer, that is my focal strength in trying to get utmost what I have studied. And I came to this District 4 I live in District 4, so I came to it to be the candidate that I can be and serving the public that I've been always serving. And I will continue to serve the best I can by introducing the goals of the state, the goal of the researchers, of having, redundance of mass transportation, transit, having in mind, having vertical housing, so we can ensure equitable for all, affordable housing for all, and affordable by all meaning of affordable, and putting a number next to that affordable word, so we can have really equitable for all citizen of Burlingame. That is my goal, and that's what I intended to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. Next, we'll hear from Haja Khoury.
Burlingame gave me the chance to build a life and raise a family here. Now I want to give back and serve my community. With your support, we can create a more vibrant, inclusive, and prosperous Burlingame for generations to come. As a business owner for more than 25 years and a single mother of 2, I have mastered the art of stretching the dollar and always come up with innovative solutions to the problem until it's solved. And this is me. If I get elected, I will bring the same philosophy to the office, and I will make sure that our budget goes a long way to achieve your vision, to ease your concerns, and to advocate for your interests. Together, we can make Burlingame the best city in California and a model for responsible budget managed across the country. My vision for Burlingame is rooted in economic vitality, inclusivity, and quality for life for all residents. Here are the key areas I'll focus on. Support small businesses, community safety, environmental sustainability, infrastructure improvements, affordable housing, and more. A small dog park on Broadway, a dog park by our farmers market that will bring more people to Burlingame, a small dog park. My unique background allows me to bridge diverse perspective. I'll work tirelessly, foster dialogue, and find common ground on the issues that matter most for our community. As your city council member, I promise to you that I will listen attentively to your concerns, be accessible and transparent in my decision-making, advocate fiercely for the interest in District 2 and all Burlingame, and I thank you.
Thank you very much. Desiree Thayer, please.
Thank you all for attending this candidate forum. I hope you'll leave today with 3 take-home messages. Desiree Thayer is prepared, Desiree is thoughtful, and Desiree is committed to serve. First, I'm prepared. For several years, Burlingame has been fortunate to have a stable city council that works professionally with each other and the city staff. With recent turnover on the council, it is essential to elect someone to the District 2 seat who is ready to be an effective leader from day one. I have regularly attended city council meetings for the past 2 years and have served for 7 years on Peninsula Clean Energy's Community Advisory Committee and as a board member on the Citizens Environmental Council of Burlingame. I have background knowledge on the current city projects and am well informed on countywide efforts in electrification, sea level rise, transportation, and emergency preparedness. I am prepared to serve my community on City Council and prepared to represent Burlingame on county commissions and boards. Second, I'm thoughtful. By nature, I'm a curious scientist who digs in deep to fully understand an issue and its interconnectedness to other issues. But I'm also pragmatic about finding solutions. My approach is to be professional and collaborative, to listen to all voices and to find solutions that improve our community. I work hard, poring over the data and information, and look forward to finding solutions to the issues we face. Third, I'm committed to serve. When I take on an endeavor, I do so wholeheartedly. District 2 deserves a council member who is a public servant. I have no hidden agendas and no special interests supporting me. I will be accessible and work with the residents in District 2 and across Burlingame to ensure that we have a livable, safe, and vibrant community for all. I am prepared, thoughtful, and committed to serve, and I hope to earn your vote.
Thank you. No applause, please. Rachel Nee, please.
Yes. Thank you so much for you all being here today. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with something important. Running for City Council isn't a stepping stone in my career. It's about stepping up for the community that I deeply love. I didn't enter this race with the backing of a long list of officials. Instead, I have the support of people who live and work here, local businesses, neighbors, and friends who see the needs in our city and trust that I will listen and act on their behalf. While I may not attend every city council meeting last 2 years, I've been deeply involved in the community over the last 20, working side by side with all of you, building relationships and learning about the issue matter to most of our residents. I hear your voice and understand your concerns. What drives me is not the pursuit of this title, but a passion to make Burlingame a better place for all of us, whether young or old. I'm ready to work hard and meet all the challenges. Together, we can build a stronger, more vibrant, and that one reflect for all and serve us all. Thank you so much for your time tonight and your trust and your support.
Thank you very much. Donna Colson, please.
Thank you. It has been my great pleasure to serve Burlingame for nearly a decade. And I look forward to another 4 years of service to this wonderful city that I love should I be elected. We need stable, proven leadership as we navigate the complex issues facing our city. I have been endorsed by all of my city council colleagues, dozens of current and past mayors, and over 50 local and state elected leaders that have all seen my work firsthand and know that I am collaborative and I will work hard on your behalf. I have been able to advance many important issues because of these connections and this relationship building that I have done over the past 10 years. And these put Burlingame at the forefront of innovation and problem solving. It helps us bring money for grade separation, money for climate work, all kinds of things. And I'm proud to do that work. I will be here to answer your questions and tackle your problems and to hear your ideas on how to keep Burlingame moving in the right direction. With your vote, I can continue this work and fight for Burlingame to make sure our needs are met and our residents are represented with solutions-oriented leadership, compassion, and dignity.
Thank you very much. Andrea Papajohn, please.
Burlingame is special, and I tend to do my best to keep it special in any capacity that I serve. We're a diverse community and have different viewpoints. Our differences enrich our lives and make our community unique. And Burlingame residents need to hear what's going on in the city and have an opportunity to speak about issues. In my time since joining the council, I hope you have seen that I listen and even seek out your opinions. And I hope I have earned your trust. I strive to make decisions on what is best for Burlingame in the long term. I'm proud of the work I've done throughout my career, but my biggest accomplishment is raising my 3 children here in Burlingame. I feel proud and blessed that they've all grown up into responsible young adults. I can credit Burlingame for providing an ideal environment, and I feel a sense of civic duty to support this environment for the benefit of others. I'd like to see through the work that we've begun on the council, such as the Vision Zero plan, the town square opening as an open space free to everyone to enjoy. And I'd like to continue to address climate change and make our shoreline resilient. Not only so our hotels can thrive, which helps the city revenues, but also so we can protect all the workers and jobs on the Bayfront. If reelected, count on me to listen and do my best.
Thank you very much. We heard everybody's closing statement. Now I'm nervous that I was. All right, thank you.
One more.
No, no, Nirmala.
I'm so sorry. Please.
Thank you for inviting me today and letting me share my views. As I expressed earlier, I bring a unique perspective with experience working in scientific research, private sector, as well as experience city government. I'm not just talking about my hope and dream, but tangible results such as getting crossing guard on El Camino Real and Ray Drive, streamlining IT for Burlingame Community of Education, streamlining systems, business processes, and managing programs at companies I worked at, streamlining the hearing procedures for the Planning Commission, hosting National Night Out and connecting community and police. I'm not looking at the city council position as a job, but calling, a service above self, a challenge, responsibility, an obligation to give back to the community and to improve the quality of life for our residents. This campaign is not about me, it is about us and the future we want to build together. I firmly believe that when we see people for who they are, meet people where they are, and attend to representation of all the unique folks who reside in this beautiful community, we truly foster a stronger, healthier, more compassionate community, an exemplary community that will propel all of us move forward. Let's create a brighter, more inclusive tomorrow for Burlingame, where every person feels valued and every dream has a chance to flourish. Together, we will build a future that honors our past, embraces our diversity, and paves the way for generations to come. I'm a vote for balancing growth with residents' needs, and I would be honored to have your vote in the upcoming November elections. Thank you for your time, consideration, keeping Burlingame safe and special.
Thank you very much. And again, my apologies. All right. Well, thank you very much. You can all find additional information about these candidates on the League's Vote 411 website. If you go to your browser and type in vote411.org, you will find a way to navigate directly to your district and your elected officials, as well as all the ballot measures. Remember to vote Tuesday, November 5th, and encourage everyone you know who's eligible to vote. Ballots are going to be mailed on October 7th. October 21st is the last day to register and get a non-provisional ballot. You can register up to the day of election, but you will then have a provisional ballot if you miss that October 21st deadline. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan political organization, and membership's open to all people age 16 and up. If you're interested in helping your community with forums like this one and activities that encourage civic education and involvement, brochures are available at the table at the front of the lobby with information about how to join our league, or you can certainly go to our site online and join from there. As we end the evening, please join me in thanking our candidates. I must say, Burlingame is certainly blessed to have a full slate, 7 people in contested elections for all of us to hear from and elect. Please, a round of applause. And thank all of you for coming and staying involved in this election cycle. I think that's the end of our evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good job. Keep her positive too.
Yeah, take